Hello everyone. Welcome to the Disney Sisters Trio. I am Megan. I am going to be doing my second part of the review for the Ink and Paint watercolor book. This time I'm going to be using the wet on wet method, which means that you wet the paper first and then you add the wet paint. A lot of times this will tell you how strong watercolor paper is. So let's find out. So while I'm doing this, I will be talking about my trip to Disneyland. I went with Emily and my parents, and my 5 children and my husband. I have a 11, 9, 6, 4, and a 10-month-old. My 4-year-old is extremely stubborn. He hates masks. He refuses to wear them. So for Disneyland, I kept prepping him. I was like, okay, if you want to go on the rides, you have to wear your mask. When we got there, he wore the mask, so that worked. I don't know if it works for everybody, but it definitely worked for us. And there were times when he asked us to wear his mask. I was very, very proud of him for that. Let's see. My 10-month-old baby, I am nursing her, and that was a challenge. I had to get out of line to see Spider-Man to go feed her, which I was bummed about because my 4-year-old is obsessed with Spider-Man, so I really wanted to see his face, but I had to feed her, and it's okay. But it's definitely a challenge. You have to remember to keep yourself hydrated and fed. In Disneyland, if you go to a restaurant, you can ask for ice water. They'll give you the ice cups and direct you to a location to fill them with water. They are given paper straws. I didn't find them to be too much of a problem, but I didn't really use them that often. And then, let's see, with the nursing, you can nurse anywhere you want. I had a cover. I used a Milk Snob. I like those a lot. So I wouldn't. Sometimes I'm nursed on benches. I'm nursed on the Mark Twain in the Art of Animation studio. You can also go to the baby centers in Disneyland and California Adventure. Disneyland's is by the Corn Dog Cart, and California Adventures is by the Ghirardelli. You just tell them you need to nurse, and they'll direct you to a room to do it. I liked Disneyland one's better. It felt a lot cleaner, and it had a lot more seating than the California Adventure one. So there were people who were masked and there were people who didn't. You had to on all the rides. If they were indoor, I didn't have to on the Mark Twain. We didn't have to do it on Tom Sawyer's Island either, and the kids loved that. I have 3 extremely rambunctious boys, and they loved full reign of that place. They just ran and had a really good time. We did do Rise of Resistance and Web Slingers. So the trick with the virtual queue I learned is you have to start early. So they open at 7 o'clock the day you go in. Remember, you have to have reservations. You go in and you just keep it refresh until you get accepted. But I started at about 6:50, 6:45 each time I tried, except for the first time, to get on. And I got that it worked with both Web Slingers and Rise of Resistance. When it came to my first try, I waited until 7 o'clock, and right at 7 I hit the refresh, and they were gone. Like, it was that fast. It was insane. I was bummed, but we were able to get on it, and that ride was amazing. I am just a kind of a casual Star Wars fan. I'll watch it here and there. But my husband and my 3 boys love it. And my middle boy, he gets motion sickness, so he didn't like the ride, but the other 2 loved it, and it is quite the experience. That's the best way to describe it, is it's an experience. So if you go, make sure you get on that ride. In Disney World, you can just wait in the queue. In Disneyland, you still have to have the virtual queue. Web Slingers, it was fun. It was really innovative. The technology was top notch, of course, but it just kind of felt like a glorified Toy Story Mania. I wasn't very good. My oldest son did a lot better than me, and he's only 9, but I was also holding my baby. So maybe I would have done better if I had both hands. Let's See, Haunted Mansion Holidays has been transformed into Night Before Christmas. That's what that is. So Haunted Mansion becomes Haunted Mansion Holidays. I really like Haunted Mansion Holidays better. I just like it a lot better. It has, Jack Skellington, Sally, Oogie Boogie, they're all in it. And this is their 20th year. Every year they would make a gingerbread house and put it in the ballroom scene, and you could smell the gingerbread, and it was made from real gingerbread. Still is. This year's, they took the inspiration from the past 20 years cakes. So it's really neat. It has different parts of it from each of the eras. So being the 20th, I kind of want to talk about it. I'm pretty sure I went the very first year they did it, back in 2001. If not, I went the next year. They have, if you go on it, when you load onto the Doom Buggies, they have this thing behind it, which has a bunch of presents. The first year they did that, they opened one present, I believe it was once a week for 13 weeks. So a new thing popped up, and since they already revealed it, they just have them all revealed now. So that was exciting, going in to see what the new thing was. In the elevator, when you look up at the end, it has Jack Skellington saying Happy Halloween. Before, it just had his head. But now they have a little video that goes with it. So I like that change. That was nice. See, when they added Oogie Boogie, they made a big, huge to-do about it. They had Oogies hidden around the mansion. You had a map that told you where they were. It was fun. One year, we were on the first elevator the day it opened. That was fun. Yeah, I like it better. I've probably been on that one more than the regular Haunted Mansion, and I basically grew up in Disneyland. We went at least once a year for like 20 years. Sometimes we went 2 or 3 times a year. Those were good days. Anyway, right now it is decorated for Halloween. I didn't notice any new decorations from when I was there 3 years ago. There might be, but I didn't notice any. Having 5 kids in Disneyland was definitely difficult. They wanted to do different things at times. My kids aren't the bravest, and my 4-year-old, well, he would go on anything, but he wasn't tall enough for everything, so that was a little disappointing. And because of that, we didn't do any big rides except for Indy. We wanted to do Matterhorn and we wanted to do Splash, but the kids were too afraid to go on it, and we didn't want to leave them with my parents, so we just forego going on it. It was a little disappointing, but we also didn't do Cars. We only had one day in California Adventure. We did the one park per day, and I think it worked out very nicely. We aren't the biggest fans of Disney California Adventure, or DCA, but, one day was good. There were times when I kind of wished I could have gone over there again to go on Little Mermaid. That's like my favorite ride over there. But it's alright. It worked out really nice. We only did one day there, as I said. We did Art of Animation. That is open, and you can draw. My oldest 3 and my husband drew Tigger. I kept the younger 2 with me. And my husband went off alone to do Grizzly Peak. That was about the only ride he did. Well, he did that and the canoes. The canoes were also going, which I was surprised. Normally they're not going during September, but they were this time. The crowds, after about 11 o'clock or noon, it was pretty busy, but the lines were still relatively short. Like, Peter Pan only got to be about 40 minutes. We didn't go on that one. That's not worth it to me, waiting that long for that ride. That's just my opinion. We saw Tiki Room. That is opened. I did miss the shows like Fantasmic and the little pop-up shows that would happen in California Adventure, and going to see the Frozen stage play. We love musicals in my house, and I was kind of bummed that was still closed. Hopefully they will bring it back, or if not that, they bring something else back. I think theater is very important to the communities. Yeah, that was... Oh, Wednesday, we went to San Pedro, to the Furman Lighthouse Park. The lighthouse was sadly closed. On the website, it said that it would be open that day, but when we got there was a sign that said it was only open Saturdays, Sundays, and Tuesdays, and at 1 o'clock. The weather there is really nice. It's a coastal city, so we got the nice sea breeze, and it was just so peaceful. There was hardly anyone there. because it was during a school day. It was very relaxing and very pretty. We could see the ocean. It was up too high to be on the beach, but we could look down and it was really nice. If you thought about doing it, you should try it. I liked having the break in the middle of the day. Going 2 days and then a break in 2 days. It made it a lot easier. We were more refreshed. Normally you just kind of plow through and by the last day you're just dead. I was able to enjoy the last 2 days instead of just suffering through it. My children seemed to like that better too. We also went back to the hotel for naps and just to relax in the hotel, especially when the days started getting really hot. So this watercolor paper is very nice. I haven't noticed any like balling, if you will, with the water. Yeah, I think it is worth it if you're into watercoloring. I give it a 5 out of 5 Mickey. And here is the finished product. I hope you guys liked it. If so, give us that thumbs up. If not, that's just fine. Any feedback is welcomed. Please remember to subscribe for more Disney fun. This is Megan signing off. Have a magical day.